Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Harmon Homestead. Guys, I've got some more seeds in the mail today and I'm tickled to death. You know, we're summer dreaming over here. So guys, this is the time of year you need to be ordering seeds or ordering free catalogs to be able to learn about this stuff, okay? It's great information. I've ordered Baker Creek's free catalog last week. It's in the mail. Got some more stuff from M.I. Gardener. I got a ton of stuff going on, okay? So, let's talk about a seed packet and all you need to know. This is a very confusing time, believe it or not, for a lot of people. So, let's break it down into categories. GMO, non-GMO, hybrid, heirloom. Okay, guys, so let's talk about GMO. A lot of people get very upset by this, thinking that they will be planting this in their garden, okay? It's just about not going to happen. You cannot go to a regular store and buy a GMO seed. What is GMO? If you don't know, it means it was literally genetically altered, okay, by us humans in a lab somewhere. Now, you're not going to have to worry about planting that in your garden because you can't buy it. It's only for commercial use. However, if you go buy food from the store, now that may be GMO, okay, from that type of plant and vegetable product like corn. Corn's one of the biggest things, that and soybeans. But you don't have to worry about planting it in your own garden, okay? Now, let's talk about non-GMO. Non-GMO seeds are any seed you go buy at the store. So if you go see a seed packet and it says non-GMO, right there, non-GMO. Guys, there's no point in putting that on there because they're all non-GMO, okay, that we can buy. So, really, it's just an advertising label, but it can get confusing because you think, well, I'm buying something better. And I'm buying a better seed over here because it says non-GMO, and this other one may not say that. Well, you know, they're all the same, okay? They're all the same, so don't worry about that. I'm trying to help you guys because I fell into that, okay? I got in that kind of trap thinking, well, I got this because it says non-GMO. Don't worry about the non-GMO because you can't go buy it and grow it yourself. Everything you buy, any seed, all these seed packets I've got, they're non-GMO. And yours are too. I'm pretty much sure of that. Okay, next, let's talk about hybrid. So for hybrid seeds, that's going to be most seeds that you see at a store, okay? Hybrid seeds are the cross between two seeds and two plants, okay? So it's like mom and dad have a child. That's what these are. This is the child, okay? They were crossed between two varieties, and guys, a lot of this, you're going to see it with tomatoes. Otherwise, people really, it seems like they don't get all into it, except when it gets to tomatoes, they get all into hybrid and heirloom. Whatever you're planting in your garden is one of the two. So with hybrid, it naturally cross-pollinated between two different plants. So just say you have, this is a super beefsteak. You've planted this in your garden. And beside it, you have an heirloom plant. The product of those two is a hybrid. Most plants you go buy from the store are hybrids. A lot of people give hybrid a bad name. They confuse that with GMO. It's not. It's not. Hybrid is something that happened alone in nature, okay? It's just a cross-up between two different varieties. And guys, technically, every tomato out there except the very first one is a hybrid of some form, okay? The best that I can figure out. There's no trouble with planting a hybrid to me. People get very specific about these things, but that's just my opinion on it. And I'm going to tell you, the reason that people sell hybrid seeds and hybrid plants is because they have been adapted, they have been improved, they are usually disease resistant, and usually they produce more, okay? So they're the best of the best that people have weeded out down through the years and selected the best tomatoes to cross-pollinate and cross up and make their own. So if you created your own tomato plant in your backyard by saving seeds between two varieties, you would have a hybrid. If those seeds fell to the ground off those plants in nature and you had volunteers come up off two heirloom plants, guess what? Their seeds are going to be hybrids because they both cross-pollinated. Don't worry about it so much. Now, if you want to seed save, this is where it gets into a problem with hybrids. any type of hybrid that you seed save from is not going to give you the mother plant. So if you have a black Krim tomato and an early girl tomato, and you have those side by side and you want to save those seeds, it's going to give you something that may not even be the right color. It may be orange, okay? It may have a world of characteristics you don't know. It's just like when I talk about on my videos breeding chickens, that's kind of how this is. So you're kind of taking a gamble here and you don't know what you're going to get. It will not produce a reliable product. And a lot of times, if you seed save off hybrids, they, of course, will not even look the same as what it come from, but it also may be very low bearing as far as fruit. So that can be a problem. Now, let's talk about heirlooms. This Homestead tomato is an heirloom. This is the one heirloom that I have planted that does beautifully here in Alabama. I had the best results with this tomato last year. My two best varieties were Big Boys. They outdid Better Boys by far. That's a hybrid. And the Homestead tomato, it kept on trucking when other stuff would not. I would highly recommend that for an heirloom variety if you are planting heirlooms this year. So what is an heirloom? An heirloom is something that has been around for ages, literally decades. They say before the 1950s, that has been planted. And if you seed save off an heirloom plant, those seeds will literally reproduce the exact same plant like you planted in the ground the year before. So if I seed saved off that Homestead tomato, it would give me more Homestead tomatoes. There wouldn't be any variety in the product. It would be the exact same. Now, let's talk about this. If I plant two heirloom tomatoes side by side, I cannot seed save off those and get the exact mother plants again next year. A lot of people get confused on that, and they really don't think about it that much. Heirloom, just because it says heirloom, you can seed save off of it, but the problem with any of this is you can only have one variety to seed save off of unless you are going to start the process of trying to create your own variety and cross things up. So just say this year I wanted to plant my whole garden in heirlooms only, and I wanted to seed save off everything. I could only have one type of tomato out there. That's the problem with heirlooms. A lot of y'all are like me and still learning how to garden. You're still getting your feet wet. You're still trying to understand all of this. And it's hard because everybody says that every plant does great for them. Somebody in Alaska will tell me that an Arctic tomato does great for them. It's not going to do well down here in Alabama. I like Big Boys. They don't even have the growing season up north for that kind of stuff. So what I'm saying is, where it's very cold, what I'm saying is if you just want to try heirloom only and seed save off those, you can only have one kind. Now, heirlooms, another problem with heirlooms, to me, in my experience, outside of this one tomato here, this Homestead tomato, they have done very poorly. I'm just going to be quite frank with you. They're beautiful. The packaging's beautiful. It shows you the most beautiful plants. I've tried heirloom bush beans, and I've tried heirloom tomatoes. I've tried heirloom cucumbers. They all did poorly, okay, for me. So when I say poorly, when I go and plant something now, I want it to do well. And because I get out there and I know what I'm doing with that plant. I have planted heirlooms beside hybrids. The hybrid would keep going. The heirloom would be stunted. It won't give you as much fruit. But the good thing is, off of an heirloom, and I love heirlooms. I do. I love them. It's just hard if you're trying to put food on the table, okay? The advantage is you can seed save. And so it's more sustainable than having a hybrid. But guys, every plant that's been around is a hybrid of some form, okay? So please do not think that hybrids are like GMOs. They're not. People get so confused with that. If I had to give any advice, what I would do is I would get some hybrid plants, unless I only just had one tomato I liked and that was it. And I only had one of everything. If you're still learning like I am and still want to get the most food production possible, if you've never grown an heirloom, what I would do is go and get some seeds of heirloom plants. And I would try one heirloom beside a hybrid, especially if you're not seed saving, okay? I would try to understand how heirlooms grow. There's nothing wrong with it. I hope to get my garden to where it's nothing but heirlooms one day, okay? Or even my own varieties. but it takes a different type of care, in my opinion, when it comes to tomatoes, beans, and cucumbers. Now, there is one thing here that I have used that has been just fine, and that's radishes. I have no trouble with radishes. This is an heirloom variety, but look at all those. There was multiple kinds to cross this up and make all these different color radishes. They do fine, but what I'm saying is, though, even heirlooms are hybrids, so don't panic about that, okay? It's somewhere down the pike, you know, hundreds of years ago, they had to get cross-pollinated. I would go and get me some heirloom seeds, and I would try to plant heirlooms this year. I would try to understand it, but if you're worried about it, plant hybrids in with it. That way you have a fallback plan. It's foolproof. You can't go wrong with that. Furthermore, if you're just concerned about it in general, the reason people want to seed save is they don't have to go and buy seeds, and they're being sustainable. Buy you some heirloom seeds and put them up. They'll last a long time, guys, believe it or not. You can even put seeds in the freezer. They will last a long, long time. If you're just worried about it, every so often, you'll see the light coming through the window. Every so often, go and do that. That way you've got something you can seed save off of if you have to, and you have to just plant heirlooms in the garden. Go and do that, okay? But there's nothing wrong with hybrids as well. There's nothing wrong with hybrids or heirlooms. It does not matter. Now, you will also see the term organic thrown around. Organic seeds were made available for purchase out of organic practices where there's no antibiotics, no hormones, no synthetic pesticides, whatever. It's a long list. If you see that, that's good. If you want to do that, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. Okay? It's probably good to do it. You know, it's your choice. We don't always do everything that way in our garden. It just is what it is. That's just our practices. Again, I am still learning. And I'm going to tell you, on the back of your seed packets, you will see a chart that tells you as a recommendation when to plant. It tells you if it's direct sown, meaning going outside and literally putting the seed in the ground, or if you need to start these indoors or in a greenhouse and transplant them. It tells you how far apart to space the plant, how far apart to space rows, and days from germination to harvest. This is all excellent information. Usually I keep my old seed packets just to understand, and a lot of times I will write on the front what I've done and keep track of this that way. That way I know if something was really great or not, and I'll put great, terrible. I didn't write on here because I know this is my favorite hybrid, early girl tomatoes. Sometimes you have to bend the rules. We don't do too well with early varieties down here in Alabama. We have a long growing season. This plant produces before the heat sets in. That's why I love it. So as far as blight and everything else, this one doesn't do as bad because it's already producing by the time the disease sets in. Bend the rules a little bit. Try something a little different always, okay? And again, this is all just recommendations. You don't have to do this. Your garden is your form of art, okay? That is your food plot. That is where you're growing food for your table. You can go do anything you want to out there. If you want to go take this and plant it next week outside in the ground, that's up to you. May not do anything, but it is up to you in the end. So don't feel so constricted by all these rules. It doesn't have to be so hard. Some of the best stuff I've done, I have just literally chunked seed in the ground, and it does great. There's one type of tomato, guys, that we grew. I don't know if it's heirloom, hybrid, Everglades tomatoes. Me and my husband grew those a couple years ago, and the chickens got the scraps. Like it's a little itty bitty cherry tomato, but if I had cut one in half and dropped it in my scrap bucket or whatever, if one was rotten, I threw it to the chickens. Where the chickens had free ranged all over this property, we had a wood pile way down south on the end of the property, and chickens got all in that wood pile. The reason they were in that is because one of the Everglades tomatoes sprouted and there was a bush. I mean, you could not kill that plant. It was almost invasive, okay? Something like that did so well for us, we want to do it again. We're going to be careful with it. I think I planted like 7 of those things, and I didn't have any other tomatoes. That year I planted those, and I planted strictly heirloom tomatoes. If it wasn't for the cherry tomatoes, I would have had nothing, but I had so many, I was able to make pasta and all of that kind of stuff. So research this stuff now. Don't get so wrapped up in the verbiage of the seed packet. Learn as much as you can and have fun. I'd like to have some colored tomatoes this year, maybe some orange ones, something else. It's just what I want, okay? It's okay to do that. Now, if you're all about just sustainability, You need to stick with one type, one variety, and that's it. And seed save. Seed saving is a practice and an art that you have to learn. So if you're wanting to do that, go for it. You know, there's nothing wrong with any of it. But now is the time. And again, guys, please go and get the free seed catalogs. Baker Creek, Southern Exposure. There's so many that send out these free catalogs. You may want to order from these people. That's fine. That's great. And that's what they want when they send these to you. Chicken catalogs. If you're into animals, request the free catalogs. It's just like, it's eye candy. You get it at home, you look through it, it piques your interest, but you're learning while you're doing it, okay? And it's just free knowledge. If nothing else, get on the websites and look all this stuff up. That's where I've learned a lot, just like hybrid, GMO, non-GMO, heirloom, okay? As far as our garden, it's a mixture. One day, again, I would like to get to nothing but heirlooms, but honestly, this has piqued my interest this year. I think I'm going to try to cross-pollinate some of these plants on my own and save the, well, not me cross-pollinate the bees and win, but save some of the product. I don't know. It depends on how many I plant down there, but how many varieties. But I'm thinking of doing my own little seed saving. Again, it's going to take decades to get a reliable product that's going to be its own heirloom, okay? It would take decades and decades. It would be something to leave on to my children one day or their children, but I may want to do that. That's how people have these huge tomatoes that they've grown for years, and they've done all this, and these varieties that Meemaw's always grown. It's because this stuff all just cross-pollinated together. It's become an heirloom, and they've just stuck with the seeds that they saved, and they keep resaving over and over and over, okay? So that's the best way that I can explain it to you in layman terms. Guys, get your seeds now. I know several websites that I've been on are already out of stock for 2024. They'll restock, but so many people are buying it. So I feel like there's going to be an uptick in homesteading this year and planting, and I am so glad, probably because the price of groceries were so high this year. People are wanting to try with their food again because it seemed like they slacked off this year. So hopefully everybody will get outside, grow something, and enjoy it and just have fun. Last but not least, I want y'all to look into something. Every year I try an herb garden, or I want to. I have the best of intentions, and then I always fall through with it. Check that out now. I am looking at this stuff now. Guys, if you start your seeds indoors, you need to be starting it very, very, very soon if you live in Zone 8A, okay? If you live below me, you're probably needing to now, okay? This stuff like rosemary, lavender, if you're trying to start one of those seeds that take weeks to germinate with a heat mat, it's going to take a long time. Pepper, stuff like that, you need to be getting geared up now. Get a heat mat. I promise you, it's great. It's done wonders for our long-time germination plants. Research all this, okay? Hopefully this has helped you about the anatomy of a seed packet. And guys, get out there and grow something. We'll see you guys next time on Harmon Homestead.